All right. Well, Cassandra.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
What does that mean? It's going.
I just got out of work.
Yeah.
Work at school, in preschool. Going to school full time. Mom full time. So I look like this. You know.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm tired though. Second coffee for today.
Yeah. Well.
But I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Try not to be so awkward. It's a lot.
Not at all. I think back to the first time I met you. Ashton was a baby. Mm-hmm. Who's now he's
15.
15.
He'll be 16 in June. I know. It feels, I can't believe I've been coming here almost 20 years.
That's crazy, right?
It is pretty crazy.
And you didn't really, you didn't.
I didn't plan on sticking around.
You just needed prayer. You had a little
Yeah.
surgery coming
Yeah,
up, and you were
yeah.
nervous. And,
Yeah.
and
God had other plans. Yeah. But
yeah, yeah.
pretty amazing.
So, but not too long after that. So you started coming to church. You understood the gospel, became a Christian, got baptized, all of that. And then, if you can remember, because I obviously was
It feels like so long ago, but then
does.
like yesterday, so it's
Yeah.
weird.
So you were living in, you still are in an apartment, but it's a different apartment building, and you're obviously you and Ashton, right? And at the time, and there was other apartments in the same building, right?
We just moved over there to save. I moved over there to the third floor. It was a huge 1-bedroom. And I put a dividing curtain to see, to make 2 rooms. And I was saving $100 a month versus the other place I was living at. So for me as a single mom at the time, I was like, I'll move across the street to save $100. It made sense.
Yeah.
It really made sense.
And that crazy guy named Dan.
Oh, yeah. He was my neighbor in the other apartment. I lived on the second floor, and he lived on the third floor above me for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were just neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't move across the street.
No.
Yeah.
I actually started reaching out to him as neighbors before I moved across the street. I remember God put it on my heart to make an Easter basket for him and one of my other neighbors. And I put like a Bible in it and candy and stuff and left it for him. And I was like, he's probably going to use that as a doorstop, but
Yeah.
he didn't, but
People who don't know you guys, now married, but also may know Dan from a previous episode. He was struggle with alcoholism and the battle of that and all
Yeah.
that. So it's one of the reasons you gave him a Bible is because you witnessed some of the early days of Dan.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it nicely. Like I told myself that I didn't like him because I was so afraid of getting hurt.
Yeah. You had been hurt before.
I have been. I
Yeah.
was a single mom. I actually think of Ashton's biological father as just a sperm donor. I know that sounds so silly, and I praise God for that. But it just turned out, he's like one of the best things that's ever happened to me, Ashton. And, going through an not unwanted, but surprised pregnancy. I wasn't expected, an unexpected pregnancy at 2022. It was a lot. A week before I found out I was pregnant, I was walking around saying, offspring aren't my thing, But, it turns out they really are. And I love all my kids. And, it was hard being a single mom. I remember my dad, when I found out I was pregnant, he was like, you need to step it up. Like, he said, man up. That's what he said to me. And I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, we got this. I got this. And the blessing I had was a support system that I had put in place. That I didn't know was in place at the time, but God, even before I knew him, just, had all these wonderful people in my life. And Mimi and Grampy, I went to move in with them. So Angie, I dated her son when we were teenagers, and we were together for a couple of years, didn't work out. And they kept me when we broke up. So I moved in with them when I found out I was pregnant, and the other person decided, I was 3 months pregnant, to leave. And, I just stayed with them until Ashton was a little over 1 and we got our own apartment, which was the building that Dan was in. And we lived there for 2 years until I moved across the street to the house that had a demon in it.
Yeah. So Ashton, that then would have been 4?
He was 3.
3,
Yeah.
okay. you moved, because I remember you asking me about this, but you were there and your neighbors started to tell you that you had a ghost.
Yeah. It's funny because it was a large building and it was 2, 2, and 2. So there were 6 apartments in it.
Yeah.
And everybody said it was a different thing causing like the issues. And
What kind of issues?
one of the families on the first floor, one of the guys said that their kids were being tormented at night by a ghost or something. It scared them at night. I feel like it was so long ago. The guy that lived next to me on the 3rd floor, his place got trashed a couple of times. He said there was something that moved his stuff around all the time, like stuff like that.
But I remember them specifically saying it was a friendly ghost.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh no, it's cool." I'm like, "Casper is not welcome here. I don't do this stuff. Nope."
Yeah.
And
Well,
everybody said different things about how to get rid of it. Like, it was so funny. One guy's like, "Oh, we need to have a seance." And I'm like, "That's going to bring more in. I'm not doing that." And another one was like, "Oh, we just need to like sage the building." And I'm like, "No." I said, "Jesus. It's only Jesus is the only way to get rid of it." And I remember at one point you guys came over and like blessed my apartment.
Yeah, well,
you and the elders.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But I feel like I remember you asking me. I remember you saying that they say it's friendly, but then you said like at least half of the apartments like slept with their lights on.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, how friendly is it that you're like?
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. I forgot about that, but yeah, it was. Yeah.
I do remember that part.
They wouldn't. One of the families wouldn't turn their lights off. They slept with their lights on, and I'm like,
yeah.
That's suspicious. I wouldn't sleep there actually after things started happening. We wouldn't let Ashton sleep there. He slept over at Mimi's for probably a good month or 2. Like at night when it got dark out, he'd sleep over and then I'd pick him up in the morning or they'd drop him off.
Yeah. So how soon do you remember things starting to happen in your
was
apartment?
pretty soon. It was like I moved in and my church family helped move me in, and it wasn't because my other family, like my dad or anybody, didn't want to help me move. I didn't ask them.
Yeah.
And just because I know that everybody's busy and just I see, and it's not to be mean or anything, but I see a lot of church family pretty often because I see you guys at least 4 times a month. I just happen to know like somebody's like, "Hey, do you need help moving?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So then it was like my small group that I was in. Darren, I was in the Violet small group, and Darren was like, "Oh, we can move your stuff over. We can get people to come help." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that would be amazing because I don't have to ask everybody."
Yeah.
So I moved in. They helped bring stuff up. I put stuff away, and it was like within the week or 2, I was like, something feels off. Like it feels eerie.
Had they already mentioned that there was a ghost or?
No, not until I mentioned it to them. I'm like, "Do you guys notice anything weird here? I mean, does anything happen that's, like I would hear noises, the cabinets would open, like stuff like that, like clicking," which at first I was like, maybe it's just the heater. And I'm like, that's not a heater over there. There's no reason there should be, like the room would just all of a sudden go cold. Like it had this horrible, eerie feeling to it. And I just remember that I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling.
Yeah.
So I knew something was wrong. And that's actually one of the first things that me and Dan started talking about, because I remember just calling him one night and being like, "There's something going on in my building, like blah, 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 blah." Like I just like let it all loose and he was just listening. So then I invited him over. I'm like, "Do you want to come like check it out?" Like, and I just didn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be alone there. And it wasn't like I was inviting anybody new for Ashton, because Ashton already knew him as Dan, our neighbor.
Yeah.
So whenever, like, I always joke around that Ash was like Dan's little wingman. Because whenever Ash saw him in the hallway, he'd be like, "Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan. Hi, do you want to come over and play? You want to come for dinner? You want to come play? Like, come look at my stuff." Like, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, "Ashton, we have to go." Like, I'd be pulling him into the room, into our apartment, and Dan would have to go up the stairs to his apartment. But,
Yeah.
So I had asked him to come. So it wasn't like I was inviting other people around, like, and God kind of just used that whole situation to like allow me to trust somebody, because I had such a wallop.
Yeah.
And then this whole situation was just, one of the ways that God used.
And it just kept getting worse, right?
Yeah. Yep. He was over one night, and it was before I brought him to Mimi's. and Ashton was playing in my room, our room, because it was one big room with a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Dan were talking, and something just pulled Ash. He was on the bed and just pulled him right across the bed and onto the floor.
Yeah, and both you and Dan saw
We both saw it. And
Dan, of course, is not a Christian.
He wasn't. I'll tell you, he came back to Jesus so fast after that. He's like, what did you... I was like, yeah, this is the stuff that's been going on. And at one point, too, there was... I remember I was playing on my phone. Ashton was sleeping. I was playing on my... And he actually shared the bed with me. I'm not proud to say that I co-slept with him a lot, but, you know, it was just me and him. And sometimes when Mama wants to sleep and he just wants to sleep next to me, you know... Once me and Dan got married and he moved in, obviously. Sorry, Ash, you had to leave. But it was just, he was asleep next to me. I was playing on my phone. And I felt, you know, the feeling of like a cat we didn't have a cat at the time, but a cat jumping onto the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that, but it was hands going up my legs. And both legs. Like it felt like hands, like human hands. And I just remember thinking to myself, what was that? And I just pretended like it didn't happen. I was playing, I don't know, Bejeweled or something silly on my phone. And I was like, I'm just going to ignore that. And I just went ahead and kept playing. And it happened again. And I was like, I just said to myself, oh, Lord, like, what is... And I just turned over on my side and just started praying. And I was like, Jesus, whatever's going on, make it go away, make it go away. And that's when I knew something was seriously wrong with where we were living. And that's when I started reaching out to, like, the other neighbors, like, are you guys experiencing stuff? Because that wasn't normal. Like you'd feel things like pulling at you, like hear things, whispers, like feeling like wind was on you, but there was nobody was there, like stuff like that. And I was like, this is messed up.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of those are the classic things that when people say that, you know, ghosts are inhabiting a place, right? That's typically, and I remember you asking me about that and me telling you there's no such thing as a classic ghost, like a disembodied spirit of a person or anything like that. So usually those things are, you know, they're either in somebody's head when that happens or they're demonic.
And the crazy thing is that you had just gone, I don't remember which verse you had just gone over, but you had just talked about the week before, like that Sunday, you were, whatever you were preaching on, you had gone over the words and I was talking about demons. And for me, this was a huge part of my growth as a Christian. Is it cemented it for me. I'm trying to think of the words to say. But it was the fact to me that every word in the Bible is true, because obviously if Jesus is real, you know, you have heaven, then you have hell, you have demons, you have Satan. So it just opened up the fact that we really are under spiritual warfare, that there's a spiritual attack going on. And it was very eye-opening. So I love Halloween. I've always loved Halloween since I was little, dressing up. And I mean, I work in preschool. Like, come on. I was drinking imaginary coffee today. I'm like, do you want to get me a biscuit and a coffee? Like, you know, that's just how it is. Yeah. But I love pretend. I love having fun. But ever since this happened, even me and Dan say this, he was the same way with, like, he loved Halloween. Since we experienced what we experienced, it's not the same for us. It hits differently.
If I remember, you slept over at the church.
I did. I actually, on Halloween, I was like, I am not sleeping at my house on Halloween when there's a guest there that's not welcome. I am sleeping over. And we actually, it was the old prayer room.
Yeah.
So I brought my sleeping bag, and just so you know, the train goes across in the middle of the night.
It did.
Scared the crap out of me. But, you know, I was like, I will sleep here over sleeping there. And I actually wanted to spend that time in prayer too. Like, you know.
Well, I remember, in all honesty, I think that's the only time in all my years that I just said, yeah, you can sleep at the church.
I was like, Jamie, do you mind if I sleep over?
I didn't check with anyone else. I didn't check with anyone else. I didn't call the elders. I didn't do anything.
I could have slept over at Mimi's if I wanted to, but I was like, no, I just really want to take this time to, like, focus on the Lord. And especially on, like, you know, it's a holiday. And sure, but at the same time, there are some meanings to it behind it. And yes, we celebrate it. I'm not saying don't celebrate it. I look at the fun parts of it. I love carving pumpkins. I love watching my kids do it. I just ordered all their costumes. I have so much fun handing out candy. Like, we look for the good parts of it.
But I think one of the things that can happen on that day in particular is those who are dabbling in bad,
it's
dark
they
stuff.
Use it on that day.
Exactly.
It's more, yeah. That's where
So it's not the actual day or
it's
dressing
not the
up.
day. It's what's behind it.
Yeah,
So
that people will do. And isn't it true, if I'm remembering, that there was one apartment that didn't ever see it?
Yeah. And it's funny because we clashed with them quite often. I hope they're doing well wherever they are. But yeah, they're the only ones that said, like, oh yeah, there's nothing going on. Like, I wonder if you're the ones that brought it in. Just saying, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I remember
yeah.
theorizing that maybe, you know, they or someone else a lot of times, occultic kind of things, tarot cards and Ouija boards and things like that, they're not to be messed with.
Nope.
And, yeah, they can just be silly, stupid stuff or in your mind, but they can also really tap into some stuff that you don't want to tap into.
We don't need any extra doors open.
We really
like,
don't.
That's where I'm like, oh, I'm good. And like I was just telling you before we started rolling, my kids it's one of K-pop Demon Hunter. My kids love the movie right now. The songs are catchy. Like, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. Is there a lot behind it that's not good? Probably, but
Yeah.
you know, it's so hard living in this world to not be of the world. And be in it. So I just try to keep my mind and my heart guarded.
Do you remember that night you slept in the prayer room? What was, besides the train? What was your prayer?
Just for it to be. I wanted it gone, not just from my building, like not just from my apartment. I asked God to put a hedge of protection around my entire building, and that that whoever was living in my building, their eyes would be open to what's really going on. And I just wanted peace, because it's not being able to go to your own place and feel like you have peace is so hard.
Oh, yeah. It's the worst
You
thing.
feel like somebody's always watching you. And that was the feeling I was getting all the time. I'm like, I'm not alone. Like, you could, it was so creepy.
When you told people that you had demonic presence in your apartment building and in your apartment, and what was the reaction you would
Oh my
get?
gosh, it was so mixed. I had like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't Ghost Hunters. This is not cool.
Yeah.
And then other people were like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But more, it was like my Christian friends were like, no, that's not good. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But it was such a mix.
Did anybody doubt you, do you think?
Probably. I mean,
No one came out and said
no,
okay.
nobody said, oh, Cassandra. Like, I'm sure. Like,
Right. Yeah. Well, I was, as you mentioned earlier, sure enough about your story, that I had all of our elders actually go over to your apartment, right, and pray over your apartment.
Yep.
Anoint it with oil, the whole thing.
and it didn't even go away at first. Like,
No,
that
I
wasn't-
remember that. Yeah, but I remember, so we're there, and I don't think I've done that myself, a couple other pastors, but I've never had the elders do it. Of course, I was by myself then, so I've gone somewhere with Pastor Bob before, so I had him. So maybe that was part of it. Like, I ain't doing this alone, fellas.
Yeah. No.
So were you there when we came?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
I might have been. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah. I don't.
Or I said I left. I might have actually just given you a key or left a key.
If I don't remember you being there.
I don't
so
think
that's
I
probably
was.
why you don't
I don't
remember
think
it.
I was.
Yeah, and we just prayed over it and anointed it, but like you said, it didn't. You came back and it was still
there.
still
Yeah.
doing things and bothering you. And,
Because I was like, oh God, they're here. Great. Thank you, God. It's going to be gone. I came back and I was like, nope. Okay. So it probably was a couple more weeks. Like, I would just play worship music constantly in my house. I would have the word open on like my table, like, because I would just go over and like read it casually. But I wanted it there, like the word's present. God's word is living and active. And I would just pray. Like I just prayed. I just would worship. I would worship. I would pray, and I would just be like, "You're not welcome here. Like in the name of Jesus, you need to go." And then one day it was just gone. So I feel like God was using that to build my faith. I don't.
Yeah.
I should be like, hallelujah, like, but I don't. Like, it was just, I was like, oh my gosh, like, it felt good.
Yeah.
Like, I went home and I was like, okay, something feels different, but I was weary. I'm like, maybe it's going to come back, you know? But then when it was gone, it was gone.
Mm.
So.
Do you remember if your neighbors still?
It was gone from the building for a while, and then I'm pretty sure it came back into somebody else's. And then I had given, this is funny, I forgot about this. I had given a Bible to one of my other neighbors, and he ended up throwing it in his car and giving it back to me and was like, it's making whatever was in my house angry. I don't remember the whole thing, but I was like, oh, okay, well, you know. So I guess he thought it was the Bible that was making the things worse in the house, having it in there. And I was like, well,
could be.
That's what the demon wants you to believe, then sure, you know, but...
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I just left them to their own.
Yeah.
I just kept living.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
So overall, that experience, how long?
So that it was there?
Just the whole thing from you moving in to when it was gone. So it was
probably like August, September, October. It was probably 3 or 4 months that it was there.
Yeah.
It was way too long, though. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
No.
And then you see like shows where people chase them, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good with that.
No, you shouldn't dabble in anything like that. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't seek it out. That's just crazy.
But like I had said, God used all that in like hindsight now. Like he used that time to bring me and Dan together. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know we'd bond over Casper, but here we are. And you know. Eventually, we got engaged a few months later, married a few months later, pregnant a few months later, and fast forward, we've been married now 11, going on 12 years. I don't even know. Sorry, Dan, I should know this, but it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
We'll edit that out now.
Yeah. Pretty sure we just celebrated our 11th in May, so we're going on 12 coming up.
Wow.
Yep.
And Dan came to know Jesus.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It was hard for him to deny.
Yeah. And like just seeing how God's worked in his life with just Dan and like his walk with Christ, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I think Dan was one of the first people I ever shared the gospel with. So that was pretty cool too. Didn't know we were going to get married, but like, you know, it's just how he's transformed him in his walk.
For
it's
sure.
Pretty cool how he's transformed me, how he's transformed us together in our marriage. Yeah, it's been pretty nice.
So since then, have you, obviously you mentioned, you know, Halloween's a little bit different. There's more on guard about that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But have you had any more experiences like that? Besides the regular, hey, I've been tempted and all that we all battle. But
yeah, probably just, I only remember one time I was pregnant with Jake and I had taken a nap. And I remember waking up and it felt like somebody was pushing me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, God, it's back. But then it was that one time. And then we were taking a walk. I remember Dan mentioning it. He might not remember this, though. We were taking a walk with the kids. They were a little bit older. Mm-hmm. And we were walking through the place where we used to live. It was like prickly tick. We called it Tick Central. There were like ticks in the back. And we were just trying to find like a path and just explore. And Jacob got pushed from behind. It's like somebody pushed him. And my mind went right to, uh-oh, you know, but thankfully I haven't noticed too much of that. I'm hyper aware to it.
Yeah.
But I try to just be like, you know what, Jesus, you're in control. Mm-hmm. So you want it gone, it's gone.
Yeah, you have experience with that.
Yeah.
It gives you confidence.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on edge or on guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if edge is like the right word, but, you know.
You probably used to be on edge. Now
well, that's why. Now I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Talk to Jesus. You know, you already know who he is. Go.
Let me introduce you.
You're not welcome here. Like, that's where I'm at. But
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So when we look back on that, some lessons to be learned. One, don't dabble in it.
Nope. I remember playing with the Ouija board when I was little. Do I think it has anything to do with it? Probably not, but I mean, it could. Plus, you think about all, like, I don't know if you guys believe in like soul ties or anything like that, but there's, you mess with it, you're opening portals, you're opening things that you shouldn't be playing with.
Yeah.
I that type of stuff, it's not worth it.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, it seems fun. And I like horror movies occasionally, even though I watch them like this, like, but I'm just
To actually try to tap
to
into
actually
things.
see what it could do and how it affects people. Like my mental health wasn't good during that time.
No.
Just the depression and stuff creeping in. I'm like, I don't like this. It doesn't feel good. Like it was like a dark cloud over you constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. But at the same time, if you do run into it, like as you did, it's lean into the grace of God.
Yep. Cast it out in the name of Jesus. That's what anytime I'm like, nope, not today, Satan, go. Nope.
Yeah. And worship music, that is something that I can't remember if I advised you to do that or if
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did. And you were like, oh yeah, you should listen to, I forget what song it was. Angel of Armies. You recommended that one.
Oh yeah. That was probably really popular at that
yeah.
point too. Yeah.
And I knew it. I knew that song. So I'm like, I'm going to play that one. I mean, I just played it all.
Yeah, because I've given that advice to others since, and I couldn't remember if I got from that experience or if I had maybe read that somewhere. And it makes a lot of sense. Demonic forces hate.
Well, they
the
don't
worship
like.
of God.
They're not going to like the worship of God, so they're not going to want to hear it.
That and God's word, now.
And I remember too. I put His word all over my house. I printed out scripture, and I just like taped it to my walls. Yeah. You'd walk and you just see it like all over the place, and I'm like, nope, this is God's house. You're not welcome here. So yeah, I got an attitude from that, an attitude of gratitude. But yeah. That was the time that I wouldn't want to go through again, but I see why God allowed it.
It also gave you and Dan, it seems like you both have a love for worship music and you both have a love for His word. And not that you wouldn't have or didn't already, but...
It made it extra special, I feel like, at this point. Like, I was a believer for a few years at that point, but it didn't hit the spot that it does now. With how special it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's like a lot of struggles. We don't choose them and wouldn't choose them again, but God does use them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whew. So, which brings us to then...
We're going to go to the mental illness part. Segue into,
Yeah. Well, as you said, you had struggles even during that time, but who wouldn't, And
it wasn't even depression or anything. It was just like the feelings of like during the demon stuff, it was more like you didn't feel good. Like you could tell that it was depressing. Like being at home, anxiety was up. It was depressing. I'm like, I don't like this. But I had never experienced depression the way that I did what we're going to talk about next.
So how many years later did that come on?
So me and Dan got married. I got pregnant with Jake. Found out I was pregnant with him when I slammed my thumb in the car door taking Ashton to kindergarten orientation, and had to go get my finger, they like burned a hole in my nail to release the pressure, but they had to x-ray. So like, oh, is there any chance you could be pregnant? I'm like, oh, no. Yeah, we were pregnant with Jake. So surprise, I was like, this is a great day. I wish we found out other ways, but hey, way to go, Cass. No spatial awareness there.
Yeah.
And we had Jacob. Then we got pregnant with Livy, and I was so sick with Jacob. So sick. I remember having Jacob. We were in the hospital, and I looked down. I was like, can we just have one more and just be done? He's like, are you crazy? I'm like, no. He's like, you are so sick. I'm like, I know, but I want to have another one too, so that they all have each other.
Yeah.
I want my kids to have each other.
Yeah.
Got pregnant with Livy, had her. Everything was great. And at that point too, like Dan was still, with his addiction. I was still dealing with my control issues, which stemmed from
Trauma.
trying to control what's not controllable. And we had Liv, and then probably a couple months in, she was a couple months old, I started noticing things, and I was like, I don't know, like it felt like things were crawling on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, something's off. But like I would go down, our basement was creepy, and I go down to the basement because you had to go through the basement to get outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe a spider. Like it felt like things were crawling in my hair. I'm like, maybe a spider landed on me. So I would go and actually check. And I remember going over to Haley, Violet's house. Hi, Haley. To see if she could check to see if I had lice. Because I remember feeling things crawling. And I'm like, can you just make sure, like I was around somebody that had lice. Like I know it's totally possible. And she's like, no, you're clean. Like she checked me. And I was like, okay. But I'm like feeling things, And it like felt like things were like crawling up my legs and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So Livy was almost 3 months old, and I don't even know where to start. I thought I was fine. I guess it was postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression. I thought I was nailing it. I'm like, I'm taking 3 kids, 2 under 2 to Walmart by myself, shopping. Like I felt great.
Well, yeah, it wasn't.
Livy was in the NICU for when she was born for a week, 8 days, because she was 6 weeks early, and I had postpartum. I had gestational diabetes, so there was already some factors in it where it made it a little bit harder. I was trying to nurse her. She wasn't latching. We dealt with all like the consultants and specialists. And so I was exclusively pumping at this point. So you have a wife, you probably get it. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like that alone is exhausting.
Having a wife? No,
yeah.
Kidding.
We're a lot, ladies. We're a lot.
Yeah, you were.
It was a lot.
But you, like you said, when you think of classic, whatever that means.
But I felt great. Besides being exhausted.
You think of being depressed and taking to your bed, which does happen.
Yeah.
You weren't in that.
I wasn't. Like, no. I was doing.
You were just feeling stuff crawling on you.
And that's what it started with, was I felt like things were crawling on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? So, but I was still doing, I was still going, I was still, I was like, oh, I got this, I have baby on my hip, baby in my hands, taking Ash places. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it was great until it wasn't. And I can't even tell you, like, I remember Mimi took the boys somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I had Livy, and I remember I was doing something. I was holding her, and she put her head like to the side, and I looked in her ear, because just how it was, like, just how she was, and it looked like there was worms in her ear. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like, what? So I'm proud of myself now. I can say that now, because I didn't have a complete panic attack. I handled it like a mom would, in my opinion. I went and I got a pair of tweezers and I put it in a bag, and I was like, it's okay, honey. I called the doctor for her. I'm like, hey, I need to make an appointment. And I didn't know what to call it, so I just said it was like a pinworm. I'm like, I just saw worms in my daughter's ear. I just want to get her checked. And they're like, okay. Like, they were confused, and I get it now. And I was like, Dan, we need to take her to the doctor. Like, something's wrong. So I brought, I ended up, because if you had seen the amount that I saw in her ear, like, it was like a little army of them. There was a bunch. Like, if you saw it, you would be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So from that going on with what I was feeling to, I forgot something too. Yes. I thought I peed a worm out. That was like a day before, like something that you would stick on. I was with the kids at Walmart, and this is my ADHD brain. I'm all over the place.
To be fair, you could get worms at Walmart.
Well, so it's so funny, because thought I thought I had something. Maybe we ate some contaminated meat. I don't know. The whole thing in my head made sense at the time. And
it's interesting that it manifests itself. It's like
it was so
scurrying
weird.
and worms, like not just feeling, but seeing.
But that's why I was like, why is, like, I thought it was so real.
Yeah,
so
I
real.
remember.
So real. So real. And I remember being like, okay, like, so I was at Walmart with them, and I remember looking down because I have a thing with public toilets. I don't know about you guys, but like, if I don't have to, I won't use a public toilet.
Oh, I love them. They're great.
Since I was little,
Somebody else
wondered
clean.
if there's like spiders down. You never know. So I don't know why I was looking down, but I was, and it looked like a worm that you would have stuck on a fishing line. Like, and I used to go fishing with my dad when we were little, catching sunfish and stuff. Like, that looked like a legit worm that you would have put on a line. And I was like, okay, well, that was gross. And I was going to take a picture, but it was an automatic flusher, and it took it away. So I was like, okay, like, I can't even like be like, hey, look at. So then I remember feeling things, and that kind of escalated into seeing things and Livy. And then I remember going to the doctors, meeting Dan at the pediatrician with her. He met me with the boys. And the doctor and the nurse were like, I think you should go back on some anxiety medication or something. Like, you need to talk to, because Livy was fine. They didn't see anything. They didn't see anything. And I really respect them and appreciate that they were so honest. So Dan took the kids and went home. I said, I will be back. And I drove myself to Milford Hospital, and I said, I need a psych check, because I was so freaked out because I know what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, I ended up taking the worm out of her ear. It was a little one, putting it in a baggie. And then I had such like a panic attack that I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna I threw it in the dumpster. And it sounds crazy now, but I'm like, if there's so many in her ear, I'm not carrying this thing around with me, but I should have. Because at least if it was empty, I would have known, like, hey, it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So I questioned that for so long. And I went for a psych check. They said I was fine. I explained what happened. I contacted my OBGYN right away and said, hey, I need you to make a prescription for anxiety, depression meds. They said, we're calling it right over. I explained what happened. And I went home. I think Mimi came to get the kids because I said, I need to sleep. Like, I'm pretty sure this was like September 30th. I said, I need to sleep. I'm not sleeping. Maybe it's because I'm not sleeping. I was like, maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But I thought I was sleeping. So I'm like, maybe I just really need some sleep. Dan went to work, and Mimi took the kids. And then I just remember, I don't know if it was just at this point like a psychotic episode, but I just started like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm infested. I took a shower, and I was just scrubbing myself. I'm like, they're all in me. I can't get them out of me. Like, it was so scary. And then I just started like, I was like, oh my gosh, if we ate meat and it splattered in the kitchen, the whole place is contaminated. I started just I remember just wiping the walls with bleach. Like, and I just started throwing things out. Like, I'm like the cutting board that was touched. My makeup. Oh my gosh, as a lady that, a younger lady that liked my makeup. Like, I was like, I don't really wear it now because I'm too tired. But I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I put it on my face. If there had gotten to be them, if they're in there, if there's eggs, like, they're all my stuff has stuff in it. It's contaminated. And I just threw it all in the trash. Like, and I was like, no. And I just remember throwing things away. Dan came home, and there was a giant trash bag of just stuff. Like, I just cleaned everything. And I'm pretty sure I remember him saying too, because I like just random things, like I was just wiping and I was like, oh, I touched it, now it's contaminated, and I would throw it in the thing of bleach. I'm like, and that I touched that, now that's all contaminated. Like, I was like, I can't touch anything. Like, I was having a manic episode. Now, on hindsight, because today is 9 years from the date, like 9 years ago today, I tried to kill myself. So look at how far God's brought me. But at the same time, I can see now what was going on. Then I didn't know what was going on. Like my heart was racing. And I just remember saying like, Cassandra, you just need to go lay down. Just lay down. Just go lay down and take a nap. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And when I had gone to, at one point I had gone back and forth to the ER. I don't remember. It was within like a few days of each other. I just kept going. So I'm like, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. And one of the ladies said that I was delusional. And as a mom, that terrified me because I'm like, how can I take care of my kids and how can I take care of myself if I have this mental illness? Like I felt like such a burden. So when everything hit me, like Dan had come home, I had woken up in the middle of the night. He had gone to sleep because he worked late shifts. I just like lost it. I'm like, I don't want to be a burden to my family. Like if I'm seeing worms, if I'm feeling like things are eating me alive, like I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't put my faith in God. I didn't put my faith in Christ. I just didn't want to be here. So I just took handfuls of ibuprofen and just started putting them in my mouth. And then I just laid down. And that's the last thing I remember. Next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance. And Dan had found me in the kitchen and I had written a note saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do this. Like, I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So, and I know like in the commandments, it said, thou shalt not murder. So that hit hard for me too later on because that means that's a period at the end of that. That means that includes yourself.
Yep.
You can't do that. That is wrong. And as somebody that's, recovering from, like today I'm 9 in my mind. I'm like, yeah, Cassandra, you're 9 again because I got 9 more years that I tried to take away from myself.
And your kids.
So, and my
your
kids
husband,
and my
your
husband
friends and your family.
And I remember he was so angry, like, because he was so hurt. Like, I just remember that he was crying.
So what, during that time when you tried to take your own life, what was your prayer life like? What was your,
it was, it was there.
Yeah.
So, and I knew my relationship with God was great. I knew I believe in Jesus, like, but when you're dealing with something that is out of your control, and that's something I've struggled with my whole life is like being out of control. Like, I don't like to be out of control. I like feeling like I'm in control.
Yeah.
I don't like surprises unless like no, not even a puppy. I don't want to pick up dog poop, but like we were talking about the other day with Dan, that's why I'm laughing. But
Please don't do that.
I don't, unless it's like, yeah, you get a free coffee. Like I don't like surprises because I don't like the unknown. And for me, that was, how am I going to get through this mental illness? Like, how am I going to function?
Yeah.
So it was so unexpected. It came on so fast. And dealing with the media now, you can see too, like, I don't know if you guys remember the story of, and it's relevant because there's the lady that had postpartum psychosis and took her children's life. That happened a couple years ago. When that happened, and it's been 9 years for me. When that happened, it hit me hard because I was like, wow, that could have been me. Like, I made it out. I made it to the other side, praise God.
Yeah.
Not everybody does.
Yeah.
So, and it was everything that was going on was so real to me that it was freaky.
So what happens? You wake up, you're in a hospital.
I'm in a hospital, my husband's crying. Now I realize, oh crap, like, look what I did. And I felt so guilty, because then I was coming out of like my manic episode. So then I'm like, oh, not to swear, but I was like, oh, yeah, like, look at what I have to do now. Like, now I'm stuck in a hospital, and I get it. Like, timeout, Cass, like, that was wrong. I know, I get it. I needed to be there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just, I was like, okay, I need help. Like, but then I'm separated from my babies. And I think that was the hardest part. Because Livy was only 3 months old. She was my little sugar, like my little baby. And then Jake was 1, and Ash was 5, or I think he was kindergarten 5. So I mean, they were still little, and now I'm without them. So it was really hard for me as a mom to be like, wow, you just really messed up. But at the same time, looking back at it now, like, I didn't mess up. I needed help, and I should have asked sooner. But I didn't know what was going on.
If I remember correctly, so in the hospital,
you came to visit me because I asked you to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I reached out.
Yeah, I remember visiting you. But in the hospital, you were still feeling the crawling.
Yep.
So it was very difficult.
Yep.
You kind of wanted, it was like a war. You're like, everybody who I should trust is telling me this isn't real, but everything about it seems real.
Yep. So full disclosure, I learned through my time at the hospital too that I have misinterpreted stimuli, most likely, and my nerves misfire. So I don't, I think I'm in a great mental, a great place for my mental health right now. Yeah. But I still feel like things crawl on me sometimes, but it's my nerves. I have issues with my nerves now. It might not go away. I don't know who was it that said they have a thorn in their side? Was it Peter?
Paul. Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
I'm Paul. That's something that I might have to deal with until the day I see Jesus.
I have a worm in my flesh, and I have to pray.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just pretend it's not there. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself. It's just something. It's nerve. Like if you have like sciatic nerve, that's the only way I can explain it, how you feel like you have that sharp pain, except for me, it feels sometimes, not all the time, like things are crawling on me. So I've just learned to not think about it. And when I go to prayer quite often actually now because of it.
Yeah. 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 So when you're in the hospital, what was your faith like then?
At first I did the whole why me in my head. I'm like, God, why am I here? I shouldn't be here. I don't need to be here. And then I was like, yes, I do need to be here. I think my faith grew while I was in there. But I'm not going to lie, for a part of it, it was very, I felt like I was alone. I know he doesn't leave us or forsake us, but I really felt alone. So, and it was hard. I don't like being trapped. And,
how long were you there?
I was there for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks at one hospital, and then I transferred to another hospital to be closer to my kids so I could see them more, which I didn't see them more because just how the hours worked there. Yeah. Because I was in Boston, which Dan would drive with the kids, and I got to see them once in a while. But it was very, my dad would drive a couple times a week from, he would leave work in Framingham and come see me. So that was nice. And my friends would come visit me when they could. And friends from church came to see me. I was giving Bibles out to other patients.
I remember that. Yeah.
I led a Bible study. Like, I'm here, girl, let's do it, But a few days in, I was like, I'm so bored. I did all the arts and crafts I could do. I think I even made a fish for you. I was like, what type of fish do you want? Like, I was taking orders.
I remember that now.
They don't let you have certain things in your room. But they made an exception for me because I was making bracelets. And I think I gave them out a couple of years later at VBS. I think I made 100 bracelets during my time at Tufts. And I was like, hey, guys, everybody gets a bracelet after VBS. Like, yeah.
What was the Bible study like?
It was good. There was I think there was like 5 people that came one night. One kid came to Christ. I'm calling him a kid. I think he was 19. I don't remember his name. I hope he's doing well. He's like, I want Jesus in my life, It was interesting. It's not like the movies. You see the movies about the psych wards. Like, it's not like that. It's just a hospital. It's just people that are hurting. They're just normal people. I did witness some things that I wish I didn't. One of them, a guy drank his own pee. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I just felt horrible for the situation. I just didn't want to be there. Another one, there was a girl that cut herself. Like, there was people there for different reasons. Another one, a guy with anxiety that was there. He had severe anxiety. There were so many different reasons why people were there, but they're just people that just, needed some help. And then when I moved to another hospital, there was a fight between two guys, and one guy bit another guy's finger off. It was crazy. I was like, this is not, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah.
Wow. So then from there, do you get to just go home or?
No, so it was 6 weeks. And then, well, I did get to go home, but I thought it would go back to normal. It didn't go back to normal. I wasn't allowed, which I understand why. We put measurements in place to protect the children, to protect me, to make sure that, that I was doing good. I wasn't allowed alone with the children. If Dan was home, I could be there. The kids could be there. If Dan wasn't home or there wasn't another adult, I could not be alone with them. And I mean, I respect that now. I get that. I understand why.
Still really hard.
They actually, Papu and Grandma, Dan's dad, and bonus mom paid for a babysitter to come help out on certain days, and she would watch the kids. And I was so angry at first. Like, I was like, I can't even be alone with my kids. Let this person gets to come. And she was amazing. I hope she's doing well. She was an amazing person. I was like, this person gets to come and she gets paid to watch my kids. Like,
yeah.
Like, I was so bitter. I think I was so bitter at first. And I shouldn't say that, but I was.
No, you.
I was like, God, why is this happening? I was a stay-at-home mom that couldn't stay at home with my own children. Like, I had no purpose. I feel like that was, and I know that sounds so bad, but that was like, that was so hard for me. I'm like, and having people not believe me too at first with like what happened. I'm like, I'm telling the truth. This is what's going on. And then it's like, no, Cassandra, like, you're delusional. It's not real. Like, that was so hard for me. Yeah. And I guess I could say it was a very humbling experience. The whole thing was very humbling. Yeah. I think I was really humbled too, because they at one of the hospitals when I was there, I think it was like 4 weeks in, one of the people confused me with another patient who had a one-on-one, so they had to be followed wherever they went, and I had to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and they had to let you in, and like, she watched me while I was peeing. Yeah. And afterwards, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody else that I had to be with you. I'm like, oh girl, it's fine. I said, my kids always watch me while I'm peeing anyways, so I miss their company, so don't even worry about it, honey. Don't even worry about it. But it was just like that type of situation. Like, yeah. And when I finally got to like use a razor to like shave, they had to stay there and watch. Like, and I was like, oh, it's okay. I felt like Chewbacca. I'm fine with this. I needed this. It's okay. Yeah. But it was different. Like, life didn't just go back. I went home and I was hit with heavy depression because I couldn't go back to what I was doing. And I was on heavy antipsychotic medication. It made me twitch. Like, it made me sleep. I was sleeping 18 hours a day. Yeah. It was horrible. I wasn't changing my clothes. And I love showers. That's my thing. Like, I'll take 3 showers a day if I can. Like, I love it. I love taking showers. I wasn't showering because when you have depression, like, you wake up and you have no energy. Like, there was nothing left. I had nothing to give. I was already on empty. I already had negative energy when I woke up. I was like, this isn't good. Like, I can't even function. And then I'm sleeping 18 hours a day. It felt like my whole body was like encased in cement. I couldn't move. I physically could not move. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, you feel like you're walking around with a dark cloud over you. What do you do? So that went on for probably a good year. Like, I had to choose between waking up and doing something or, taking a shower. And I would try to just do what I could do before I had to lay back down. Like, it was so bad. I think I showed up to church the couple times I did with in pajamas. I didn't even care. But in my mind, I was prioritizing that I would rather go to church and make it to church and use that energy to try to focus on the word than changing and not making it. So
it's amazing to me that through all of that, you really still kept your eyes. You certainly tried to keep your eyes on.
Well, who else? Where would I go, Jamie? He's the only one there. Yeah. Like everything else is fleeting. So, I mean, at the same time, it made me realize that this is it. So I was like, Jesus, you're the only one that can take this from me. You're the only one that can get me out of this depression. And I mean, I'm a fighter. I clawed my way out of it by his grace. And I still fight to make sure that I'm not going back in. Because especially when winter comes, I am not, I don't like it. Like the other day, I was like, wow, I'm sleeping a lot again. Not 18 hours. Like I come home, I work in preschool. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I come home and I'm like, oh, I could take a nap. Yeah. But, I'm still trying to just get my energy back right now. We had summer off. I was taking MTELs all summer. Yeah. So I'm like, I was like, nope, Cassandra, get up and let's stay in the front porch. Go stay in the porch. Go do what you need to do. So
stain the front porch. Oh,
yeah.
They meant stay in. I'm like,
no, stain.
Yeah, let's go stain the porch.
Yeah, I had to. It was on my list. So I still have to finish my back deck, but here we are. Yeah. So I just try to stay very mindful of how I'm feeling. One of my self-care methods besides praying, I like to take walks and I like to nap. Little naps. Right. So, and my whole circle, my close circle, my dad, Mimi, Grampy, Dan, they know my mental health. I check in frequently, even now, and it's been 9 years because I want to make sure that, that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I was on the antipsychotics for a year. I'm not on anything. I'm good. But at the same time, it makes you question, for those that aren't able to come off medication, how do you move on,
Also, just hearing your story, how do people deal with these things, A, without the Lord, B, without a church family? Yep. Because you relied heavily...
Oh, yeah.
A, and far distant B.
Yeah.
Throughout it.
I mean, the church was amazing. I remember they made meals, I think, at one point for Dan while I was in the hospital. They're fabulous. My family alone with the support had been wonderful. I'm just grateful because I know that not everybody has the support system that I had. So if you're going through something, find your village. Doesn't matter who it is. And if you don't have anybody, ask, I don't know you, but I want you to be okay. Yeah. So, it's a thing. It's okay to not be okay. I learned that while I was in the hospital. Because I'm the person that would be like, oh, no, it's good. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. The whole world is burning down. I'm like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
No, but it's not. And it's okay. It's okay. Right now, all my ducks are in a row. I hope they're like that for a long time. But at the same time,
Do you ever make any connection between the demonic stuff and the mental health stuff?
I don't think they're related. Yeah. I actually feel like maybe Satan was using that to make me question my sanity later on. I was like, well, I know what I experienced there, and because Dan experienced it too, I know that it was real. Yeah. But that was hard.
And your neighbors as well.
Yeah, that was hard. That was a lot. So. Yeah. But I think I would have rather dealt with that and dealt with Casper than dealt with the psych ward and all that. And because Livy, I didn't hold her or touch her until she turned 1. She was 3 months old when I went in. And I was so terrified that she wouldn't know me, wouldn't remember me. Oh, girl, she knows me. She knows me big time. Like, mom, 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 even now. But I remember she was a little, I think she was almost 1. And Dan was asleep, and she woke up in the middle of the night, and she was like, Mama. Like, she just said, because she was crying. And I woke up, and I stood by the crib. I was terrified. I'm like, I don't want to hurt my children because of what they had said. I didn't want to, I was so scared.
Yeah.
Even though I knew I was fine, it played games with me. I'm like, I'm terrified. I don't want.
That's part of the psychosis, though, right? Like you're gonna.
But
think
it was
you're fine.
gone. It was gone
Yeah.
then. But I was just like,
you could think, well, what if it isn't gone?
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Like they destroyed like tub time for me after, because everything that happened, and that woman that later on, a long time ago, Andrea Yates, she had drowned her children. I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, what? I feel amazing, but what if, well, I didn't feel amazing, but I'm like, I feel fine, but what if I do something? I would never forgive myself. Like I felt horrible to the point where I was like, if I just stay away from them, if I don't go near them, then I can't hurt them. Like, and God had to put on my heart that it's okay, Cassandra. It's okay. Like you're okay.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, it was like, I wouldn't want to hurt my children. So, I mean, I love kids, even the spicy ones, But yeah, that was really hard.
Do you remember any scripture stories or verses that you leaned heavily on?
Dan wrote them down quite often for me. One of them, I don't remember exactly which one it is. You probably do. For such a short-term affliction, temporary,
momentary affliction.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember where it's from, but
yeah,
I want to say Corinthians.
Paul. Yeah. He's
First Corinthians or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So that was one of them that we'd always send back and forth to each other. Like when he'd come to visit me, he'd like write it down. And then the other one, which I've always just clung to, is Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You have only to be still. That's one of my favorites because I don't have to do anything. He's going to fight for me. I just have to be here. Like,
yeah,
he's got me. And the thing too is like, even when I didn't know what was going on, I would just rely on the fact that God knew what was happening and he knew what my future was going to be and that's okay. Like, right now, for anybody that's struggling with mental illness or whatever it might be, your today is not your tomorrow. And that's something that God placed on my heart while I was going through it. Because just getting through today was a lot every day. But looking back 9 years, it's amazing to see how far he's brought me. Just, I'm in college full time right now. Working full time, mom full time, wife full time, it's a lot, but I feel like I'm in a really good place right now and it's not on my own doing. Yeah, I did have to, go through the motions, but it's just like God's been really good.
Well, yeah, you when you think about it, that one of the lies of the enemy is that your life's always going to be like this.
Yep.
So give up. Don't. You're always going to feel this way.
Yep.
You're always going to be experiencing this pain. You're always going to be grieving like this, always. And because the ultimate goal is just give up or give in.
Yep.
Give in to whatever. And
I wanted the pain to end when I did what I did.
And you were convinced that
and I was
wasn't
convinced
going
that
to.
was it, even though I knew, but I was also in a manic episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I'm sure that didn't help. But you know what? Like, don't focus on the now. Focus on what could be in a good way.
There's a lot of people out there that are maybe not the exact same way you were, but feeling trapped, feeling like it's not going to get better. What would you say to them?
Don't give up. Fight your way out. Keep clawing. Like, I don't know how to say it, but I would start by taking walks. I love to walk, but there was a time where I couldn't walk more than a couple of feet, and I'd turn around and I was just so tired. I'm like, I can't do this. And I knew that was like a huge step for me. push yourself. You're not going to want to do it. Get up and do it. You're not going to want to take a walk. Go take the walk. Try to eat healthy. I know it, the good food is better than the bad food, but it's going to fuel your body. It's not going to make you feel sluggish. You want to try to help yourself. Drink water. Just get moving. You're not going to want to move, but you have to.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pretend that you're fighting for your life, because you are. You have to get out of the depression, and you're the only one that can start with doing it. And if you are a believer, which I hope you are, pray. Pray, pray, pray. And don't take your eyes off of Christ. And it really makes a difference.
And don't do it alone.
Yeah, find your group. Find your people. Ask for help. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I just said this past hour, but here we are.
Yeah, no, it's really great advice, and I think it's something that there's a couple things you can take from it. One is how much God has used it. It's so hard. You'd never want to go through any of that again. Who would? But God did use it.
Yep.
He brought Dan to Christ. He brought you together. You were sort of, your relationship started on a,
I know, isn't it weird?
on a real difficult,
spooky,
dark place that when you went through maybe, like you said, even darker places together, you had that faith to rely on.
I mean, realistically, looking at our marriage, we shouldn't, we're like, I feel like we should be a statistic. Like, he's dealt with addiction. I've dealt with mental illness. Just in the however many years we've been married, all these different factors, we probably shouldn't be, we shouldn't have made it.
Right.
But here we are. Christ has kept us together. And I feel like we're in a really great spot right now. And only getting better,
Yeah. God is good. Yeah, but I love that. I think it's important to repeat, how did you say it? Tomorrow's not today.
Yeah, your today is not your tomorrow.
Your today is not your tomorrow. And that's really, really important.
If you asked me right now that I would be, at my job for 3 years, going to school to be a lead teacher, I've been like, no way. And it's just funny. It's
not even
so
allowed
funny,
to be with my kids.
right? Yeah. Like I'm just so grateful to be where I am, and my journey of healing has been so great. And I mean, sure, I still have struggles every day. Like I said, seasonal depression, it's real. It hits me. I'm like, Dan, let's move to the Bahamas. I'm over this. But, here we are. It's just one step at a time. Take it day by day, and just trust that God has something better in plan for you.
And when you think about it too, that advice of, not to not assume tomorrow is going to be like today, also works in the opposite to what you were talking about. If you are in a good season, don't take it for granted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying get ready, here comes the demon, or the worms or anything else. But something's coming, and life is like that. And we can just be like, so take for granted what is so good right now,
right?
That we're like looking ahead.
It's true. It's funny you said that, because there isn't more than like when I get a head cold and I notice like I can't breathe out of my nose. And I'm like, I take my nose for granted every day that I could breathe out of it, and all of a sudden you don't have it. And it's like, man, that's an organ I should really think about and think. So, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so, because, if you're watching this podcast, you could be going through something really hard. And I think there's so much to take out of this is you got to surround yourself with people.
And sense of humor, that helps so much. I'm not even kidding.
I've always had that.
God's given me.
Thankfully, because I probably joked throughout the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. God gave me a great sense of humor. Anytime it's not appropriate, that's my sin nature. But it's yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because I remember even in the hospital, I'm like, okay, this could be worse. I remember sitting there saying this could be worse, sitting by myself in the room by myself. And I'm like, this could be worse. This could be worse. How could this be worse? And I'm like, could be spiders. I could think I was infested with spiders. That would be terrifying.
Spiders are worse than
I
worms.
hate spiders. I'm like, I have nothing against worms. Nothing against, I don't even know why, but it's one of those things
that
that I'm like,
fishing as a kid, the worms were getting
that's
their
actually
revenge.
funny. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, was it because I didn't like putting them on the hook? I'm not going to lie. I did not like putting them on the hook. I said, did I eat too many gummy worms as a kid? I don't know. What is going on here? Like, I really thought about that stuff. I'm like, what? God, what are you doing? Why is this happening? Did I not, when I'm not strong enough believer, what's going on?
Yeah.
I have faith. Get me out of here.
Yeah, so that goes without saying. People who are feeling anyway or like that and aren't going to church or aren't seeking God like you need to. You're not going to do this using, I really appreciate you sharing the practical coping, like walking and getting up, those showering, and those are very important, but ultimately it's your faith.
Yeah. If I didn't have God, I honestly don't know where I'd be right now. I mean, I don't think I'd be here.
No. And it's pretty amazing that because of the demonic stuff, you meet Dan, you marry Dan.
He's stuck with me, baby.
So he comes to Christ, and he ends up, a long time later, delivered from the horrible addiction he was already clearly suffering, which is why he made him a care package to begin with. But then he's the one that finds you when you try to kill yourself. And granted, of course, it makes sense. It's not like it was some weird coincidence. He's your husband and he came home. But who knows? Maybe is it postpartum? Maybe. So, but who knows? You could have married someone else. You could have been in that situation. And
it's funny because I was really reflecting today. I'm like, what is Jamie going to talk to me on this podcast about? Like, I was nervous because I'm like, putting myself out here. It's a lot. It's awkward. I'm not going to lie. But I was thinking about the fact that, God chose and created Dan and me for each other. And we're like, we always say we're like imperfectly perfect for each other because we fit much marriage, so well together. Everything, like, we complement each other. It really... I'm just really grateful for him. Really grateful for us being able to worship together when we go and like do our concerts together and stuff. But just for seeing the worst sides of each other and still loving each other, like that's huge.
When I led you through those vows, you just
well, Jamie, if I knew what we were talking about, like,
better or for worse,
like.
It's like a head cold.
We both. It's funny because we both can't, and we always crack up. I'm like, we can't give up on each other on the same day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like, there's days where we've seen the worst so far, and I hope it never gets worse than what we've gone through. But I'm just grateful. For how far God's brought us. On our own walks and together. But
yeah, me too. Me too.
Yep.
Well, I have no doubt your story will be helpful to many. So thank you so much for putting yourself out there, being awkward, and
it is. It's very awkward, and I hope it was great for all of you.
Don't worry about them.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I think it like I've mentioned a few times, the mental health struggle is so real out there. It always has been, but it's worse and worse in this world.
Nobody wants to talk about it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they just want to throw meds at it, which sometimes you need, but there's just so much more to it.
Yeah.
And
some of the medication's not good, though.
No.
And I'm not going in the wrong direction with this, but like some of the medication I was on, it was so bad. Like, I was drooling. I remember Dan went to a psychiatrist appointment with me with a therapy, like a dual. Like, he came with me to a few of them. And I remember him talking to the psychiatrist, and he's like, look at my wife. Like, the lights were on, but nobody was home. Like, I literally was like,
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I was just drooling on myself.
You're at a point where it's like, all right, well, we want to keep you from killing yourself.
Yeah.
Or killing somebody, your kids or something. But being a drooling zombie, that can't be a
I had to choose.
solution.
I'm like, you know what? I want to be functioning for my family. I want to be functioning for myself.
Yeah.
And I did. I worked with my doctors. So work with your doctors. I'm not saying don't.
But advocate for yourself.
Yeah, but make sure that you're listening to your body, listening, taking your family's input, and working with your doctors. And, you know, there's hope.
Yeah.
Like, you'll make it to the other side. Just don't give up.
Amen.
So, and ask for help. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Thanks for
telling us
having me.
Yeah.
You promised me your puppy would be here, and I just realized he is not.
No, he was here. Up until Heather swooped in and grabbed him at about 2:30. Usually comes and sleeps right on this rug.
I just realized that. I'm like,
so
promise me a puppy.
Next time.
Bring him to church on Sunday.
Yeah, next time. We'll...
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And cut.